Every rider believes that they're going to win. If you can't walk into that, ride into that ring believing that you can win, then you probably have no business riding into that ring.
The Canadians always have come together as a team at the right time.
August 1987, Canada's show jumping team of Ian Miller, Lisa Carlson, Hugh Graham and Laura Tidball-Belisky arrives at the Pan Am Games in Indianapolis.
Well, I remember arriving there and we were looking at a very powerful U.S. team with Rodney Jenkins and Jem Twist and so forth, and we definitely were not the favorites.
Teammate Ian Miller felt the same way.
There was nothing wrong with our team, but it didn't quite match the firepower of the U.S. team.
The Canadian team was an interesting mix of youth and experience. 40-year-old Ian Miller had won bronze and silver individual medals at the 2 previous Pan Am Games. He was also entering his peak years with Big Ben. 38-year-old Hugh Graham had been a member of the Canadian team for 5 years, which included the 1984 Olympics. The 2 females on the team were from a different generation than Ian and Hugh. Laura Tidball-Belisky was just 23, but her resume included competing for Canada at the '84 Olympics.
Laura Belisky, she was a seasoned rider, really. I mean, she wasn't old, but she'd done a lot of international jumping.
22-year-old Lisa Carlson was another rising star.
Lisa Carlson was on the team, and she was riding out of my stable. I was there to help her at that event. And she had the great Kahlua, and she and Kahlua performed very well. Kahlua and Lisa were probably the youngest and the most unknown in an international category.
Lack of overall experience on the Canadian team was a major hurdle.
Just always wobbly going in. We're short of horses and riders.
Riding conditions were another.
The footing was questionable. They ended up having to drag every 8 or 10 horses to resettle the ring and level it out, because it was sand that was put in, it was too deep. And it took a really good horse, a strong horse, and a horse with a lot of heart to jump well out of that ground. And then it carried forward to the individual, and Big Ben got the job done for me, and it was quite an experience.
Despite the obstacles, the team had a unique element in their favor.
In all the teams I've ridden on for Canada, which have been quite a few, the synergy has been a big factor in our teams. That it makes us better. And you look at so many of these teams from other countries, there's no synergy. It's just a collection of individuals. But we always make each other better. And when I was first riding on the team, I learned it from Tommy Gayford and Jimmy Elder. I learned it by example. And I've done my very best to pass that on. And it's critical. It's critical to a winning team.
After 2 days of the 3-day competition, Team Canada was solidly in the hunt for a gold medal. The stage was set for an unforgettable finish.
Well, I remember going into the final day, Canada, after the speed section, we were ahead. And it was, we were excited, we were up, And unfortunately, Laura had a fall at the first jump, so in the first round of the Nations Cup. So we had our three scores were going to count, and of course Ben and Kahlua went clean, and somehow I nursed Wellington around clean, and it was pretty exciting.
The climb was complete. After winning bronze in 1979 and silver in 1983, Canada had finally grabbed the gold.
The Americans, I think, would have been overwhelming favorites, but show jumping, as we know, anything can happen, and it went in our favor that day.
Hugh Graham, Ian Miller, Laura Tidball-Belisky, Lisa Carlson, a team that shared a gold medal, 4 individuals that shared a common philosophy.
Whereas in our rational mind, we analyze it, and we know what our horse can do and can't do, and ourselves and our experience and, what the competition is all about. That's the rational part. But when we're sitting at the in-gate waiting to go in, that rational part better go away, and we better, really embrace the dream that, yes, we can do this. Because you can only, if you believe you can, maybe you can. If you don't believe it, there's little chance. And all 4 riders on that team were that kind of dreamer and that kind of hoper.